Good morning. This is just a brief introduction to Unit 4. It's my favorite unit. I think of YouTube, for example, as a very, very, very powerful search engine. You can go to YouTube and, as I say in the audio, you can find anything that you want. Okay. Flickr is a very powerful photo sharing tool. You can do all kinds of classroom projects. You can do field trips. You can go to museums. You can go to Conner Prairie. There are different kinds of things you could do, and you can take pictures, and then the students can take turns uploading them to Flickr and sharing them with their families, sharing them with other classes, that kind of thing. And then last but not least, there's screen recorders, and screen recording software has really evolved over time, but screen recorders are a great way to do lectures, help files, send students home with math equations, science projects, that kind of thing, and let them go to your wiki, let them look at your screen recording of something that you made, and then they can follow the instructions from there. I'm kind of proud of the screen recording lecture that I just did. I used PhotoStory 3 for it. If you go down to item 11.1 in this Unit 4 wiki here, you'll see what I've done with PhotoStory. I find that is a very, very good way to do screen recordings. So there's a lot in this unit. It's also time to be looking at your the major projects that you've got to finish up the class with. Next week, we're going on to Moodles, which are kind of complex, which is sort of a teaching platform that most of you all will be using at your public schools. And Moodles are a lot like wikis, okay, so don't be afraid of them. They're pretty straightforward. But what you need to do to finish up the class, you need to go to your syllabus, and you need to look at page 2 of the syllabus, please. And you've got several projects, major projects, that you've been working on all along, whether or not you realize it, but you need to kind of bring these projects, to these individual units together as your major project, okay? So you have option 1, and I assume you all probably work individually. You can create a teaching unit of your own that you would actually deliver over a period of time, and you create this teaching unit, and then you will create a detailed blog or a detailed wiki. You can use the blog you've already started or the wiki you've already started, just use the link off of it, and create something detailed that presents this unit, and then you're going to give us the URL. You're going to post the URL to the Moodle, and that's where the rest of the class will see your project, and where I'll actually grade your project will be on the Moodle. The other thing you could do is you could create a wiki that displays some, like your whole course, like this, what I've done here, okay, then obviously I haven't been quite as elaborate. I've spent a couple of years, a couple of summers developing this one, okay, but you could create a wiki that's sort of your class platform, all right, with some of your favorite sites on it, some of your favorite lecture notes, some museums, some art, some music, some different kinds of things that you might put together for a class. If you're teaching science, you put some of your favorite science sites on there. If you're creating teaching literature, you put some of your favorite literature sites on it. So now create a wiki that kind of displays some course content, put a calendar up there. Now just think towards this fall, all right, and put something together that you actually use right now in your classroom, okay? You can provide the URL to the wiki to your students. So once again, you'll post that wiki up there. And then I want you to also make sure there's a podcast on there that reflects, you need to do this for both of your major projects, a podcast that you're going to post to the class Moodle that tells us, how you felt about this project, what this project meant, that kind of thing. So this podcast will be part of your wiki, all right, but make sure that you do some reflection on your project so the rest of the class can hear it and so that I can hear it. So both projects, they're similar, but they're slightly different. Both of them involve creating something that you can use next semester, all right. Both of them involve creating a podcast that reflects on the whole project. What was your goals, what did you learn, that kind of thing. And then once again, all this material, you're going to post at least the URL to your wiki or to your blog, to the Moodle, and I believe that your podcast can actually be, for sure, I know it can be on the wiki, and blogs may have evolved where you put podcasts on them too. I'm not quite sure yet. I kind of use my blog every week, but I don't pay attention to what's going on in terms of its evolving. So there's also a third project. You could create 3 screen recordings. I've seen students do that. They like that a lot. Since this particular unit, Unit 4, is on screen recordings, and I call these also reusable learning objects. Note you spend 3 or 4 minutes, no more than 11 ever. Okay, nobody has the tendency to spend more than 11 minutes. You spend a short period of time creating this reusable learning object. It's a screen recording that teaches students something very small, something very short. It's not a big whole long lecture. Okay, it's just some short skill. Math, how to solve one kind of equation. Okay, science, how to do one kind of experiment. Okay, literature, how to understand one short story, something like that, all right, or one writing, how to write a paragraph, something very simple. But you kind of do it visually. You do it PowerPoint, you do it screen capture, you do it with voiceover, photo story, and then you're going to upload those reusable learning objects to the Moodle next week. So go ahead and get started on these projects. You're going to have 2 more weeks after this week to finish everything up, week 5 and week 6. Okay, that finishes up. So this is the final, this is the major unit here, unit 4. This kind of finishes up the class content. Next week I introduce you to Moodles, and you need to be working on your major project now. So the class is kind of drawing to a close. Please, if you have questions, use Blackboard to get hold of me. I check my Blackboard mail every day. All right, so it's kind of time, pedals hitting the metal.